Java 8 introduced a new annotation to decorate a functional interface. It helps avoid the inadvertent use of the interface, which we are going to see in this session. The functional interface annotation acts as a safeguard in protecting the intention of a functional interface itself. We have a functional interface defined here. As you can see, it has one method which is abstract, which takes in two integer parameters returning an integer. Now we decorate this with new annotation introduced in Java 8. Once we have this in place, a service can be provided to clients and turn this service into a library that would be intended for distribution to clients. We provide a service that takes in a few parameters, including the cruncher instance, in this particular service method called cruncher service. As the cruncher interface is a functional interface, that is, it has only one abstract method, clients can start invoking the service using various Lambda expressions. So let's see how a client can be simulated with various functional interface invocations using Lambda. Here we are invoking the cruncher service with two input parameters I and j and a Lambda expression. The Lambda expression simply says given two input parameters, multiply both of them. Let's suppose this is a client 1. We may have different clients invoking the library using different Lambda expressions. As you can see, we have defined each and every individual client's invocation with their own respective Lambda expressions. The annotation defined here will in effect be used to create the functional interface Lambda contract with the external world. All you need to do is to decorate the annotation on top of the functional interface definition. Having said that, please note that the annotation itself is purely optional. There is no mandatory requirement that we must annotate a functional interface with this annotation. Adding an annotation will help IDE identify the contract and report issues should the contract be broken at compile time. Now let's see what happens if we add another abstract method. Look at the modification of the interface which we are going to do it here. We are going to add another method called munch that consumes an integer and returns an integer back. As you can see, compiler isn't very happy at all. It says the cruncher is not a functional interface anymore. The reason for that is when you are annotating the interface with the functional interface annotation, the expectation is that the interface will have one and only one interface, which is an abstract method available in that interface. However, by defining the munch method here, we have broken that contract. Similarly, did you see the client invocations failures? Now all the clients across the world, they are going to have a lot of problems because their Lambda expressions are all invalid. This is because the Lambda expression which is expected to be using the target type cruncher is not valid anymore. This is because the functional interface Lambda contract is broken by knowingly or unknowingly adding another method. So this situation can be avoided should we start using the annotation properly. So simply remove the method and the interface becomes functional interface again, and we can start using the Lambda expressions as expected in the cruncher interface. My personal preference is to tag an interface with a given functional interface annotation if it is intended to act as a type for the Lambda expressions. Although the functional interface annotation is not a mandatory requirement, I would urge you to use it with caution. Do not let a functional interface be defined without this annotation.